My name is Gabriele Bartolini, and I'm the founder, a co-founder of Second Quadrant Italia. That's where I work. Okay, so I'm a database architect, and my main tasks involve business-critical transactional databases and data warehousing. So basically, yeah, these are my main two fields of application. Of course, I tend to use everything with Postgres. Okay, even data warehousing when it's feasible. Otherwise, we have green plum solutions. Maybe you've heard this morning about Marco's talk. Anyway, I've been using Postgres for over 10 years. I'm the founder of the Italian PostgreSQL user group. I'm the president of the association. And I'm also one of the founders of PostgreSQL Europe, and I've been vice president in the first term. So, and tomorrow there will be the president of PostgreSQL Europe, Magnus. So, yeah, following Alan's question, how should we call it? I don't know. I mean, many people call it Postgre, PG, Post, I don't know what, but they have, I mean, the more you go around and, there's a variety of terms that people use. And as Harald was saying this morning, you'd better learn how to pronounce it, or you better learn which term to use, because otherwise your priority in the support list goes down. So it's either Postgres or PostgreSQL. But Postgres is much simpler, especially if you're Italian and you know. So yeah, please use Postgres. When you talk about it with people, with the community, Postgres is well accepted. So I've talked about me. I want to know a bit more possibly about you. So who's not using Postgres in this room? But please stand up. So I can look at you. I can look at your face and memorize it. Now, okay, how many people? About say no. Yeah, you're all scared. I'm not doing anything. Don't worry.
It's just telling you.
Okay, but most importantly, who's using Postgres? Okay, so all of you, and who's basing their business in Postgres? Okay, that's good. Okay, do you have other databases in your company or SQLite? Okay. MySQL, anyway, okay. MongoDB, okay. But primarily, your database runs on Postgres, okay? Okay, that's good. So I'm supposed to be the one telling you, things, why to use Postgres or things like that, but I would like to know why you use Postgres. Just a few things that come up. Why are you using Postgres? No, but I know, but that's not a better why. It's okay. Solid. Yeah, but you're not using Postgres, right? You're not using Postgres. Okay. No, sorry. So, okay. Other features, other reasons. That's good. Yeah. And big. Okay, anyway, tomorrow there will be a training session. I don't want to go too much into detail because, of course, if you're here, you're interested in Postgres. Okay, so, and most of you already know, so it's, how many of you are thinking of coming here tomorrow for the training? Just one person. Okay, so I'm not coming then. Now, okay, so I have, 8 minutes. Okay. Yeah. Okay, we will go through, there will be an introduction to Postgres. Okay. Yeah, I know. There's the shaker here. An introduction to Postgres and an overview of the main new features of PostgreSQL 9. So that will be the first part. So some of you may get annoyed by hearing the same things again, but maybe given that it's the first time you hear from us, to get another perspective. Then we will install, hopefully briefly, it will take a short time to install PostgreSQL 9.1 on your laptop if you have. So we will have our own demonstrations, probably here on my Mac or on Marcos or Carlos Linux station. So, but it will be good. It will be good if you can actually try the same things while we go through the lecture. So if you intend to participate tomorrow, I suggested, that you download the required files yourself before coming here, because these guys are doing an amazing job, but unfortunately we've had some issues with Wi-Fi. So it's better not to saturate the bandwidth by downloading 15 megabytes of files, if you can do it at home. Okay, so if you plan to come tomorrow, please download either beta 1 or beta 2. Okay, we will have hands-on practice on streaming replication, because that's a feature that we know very well, because Second Quadrant has developed streaming replication and synchronous replication. And if time allows us, we will demonstrate the new features ad libitum, which means, the more time we have, the more features we will talk about. And of course, we will take some breaks. Okay? So, because we need to rest. So, yeah, because all of you know Postgres, why we need databases, we don't need this. But it's usually important because we always get the question, why no SQL? So this always reminds us why we need SQL databases. Postgres is an open source project. Its license is highly permissive, so you can actually do whatever you want with Postgres. It's not subject to acquisitions and not subject to changes of licenses. So that's important, especially if you want to base your business with this kind of database. And database is one of the most important part of your business, because it holds the data, and data is richness for your company. And Postgres is a community project. It's probably the most advanced community project in the open source area for databases. It's mature. It's been developed for over 25 years. So if you think, like a person, it's an adult, and being, older than 21, it can even drink. It can drink and get drunk as well. It's grown rapidly in popularity. So particularly in the last 3 years, we've seen so many users coming to Postgres in the last 2-3 years. One important step was OpenStreetMap moving to Postgres from MySQL, which drove a lot of GIS potential users to Postgres. And technically speaking, when the support provider for the Solaris operating system changed. So I don't know if you get it, but there's a hidden analogy there. But okay, the ecosystem of Postgres, we will talk briefly now. Basically, there's a community and users, and important sponsors, like, for instance, Second Quadrant. Second Quadrant is a platinum sponsor of Postgres. We develop Postgres. We add new features into the open source Postgres. And external stakeholders. I mean, companies that have based their business on Postgres and that don't want Postgres to die. So they prefer to invest in Postgres, sponsor the development on new features, hiring sponsors like us to develop new features in Postgres. That's how the ecosystem of PostgreSQL runs and the evolution of Postgres go. So the architecture, you know, typical uses. Maybe, I don't know, if you don't fall in these cases, I would like you to raise your hands. Do they represent your usage of Postgres? Okay, it's basically a lot of things. So I just put almost everything, but we actually, I mean, you can use Postgres really well in all of these situations. And another important part will be to focus on why Postgres is good for, it can be used for business critical environments. It's something that maybe 3-4 years ago was difficult. It's getting better and better, especially now with synchronous or replication. Data loss is not an option anymore. Okay? So you can have maximum uptime. We have installations where Postgres reaches the 5 nines uptime that it's, you know, if you go and you look at marketing stuff for databases, they sell these marketing concept for a lot of money. Well, we have installations that stay up for years. Okay? But the objective is to reduce downtimes, and we'll show how with replication. So we will go through all these features: versatility, data security, etc. Scalability. Actually, we have Anu here, who's probably one of the top experts of scalability with Postgres in the world. So being the former Skype database architect. Postgres 9, to mention, yes, some of the new features, synchronous replication, and we will put our hands tomorrow on this feature. Extensions, packaging, writable common table expressions, foreign tables. Anyway, we'll go through tomorrow about all of these. I just wanted to briefly show you synchronous replication. So we have our primary database. We write and read from the database. Okay, we write to the database and read from the database. Then we have a standby server running either warm standby for high availability or hot standby for query scaling. So you can actually perform read operations on this database with hot standby. Then we have these two processes running on the primary and the standby. It's called the wall sender and the wall receiver. We have the constant production, continuous production of wall information, which is streamed. When we have new information, new records of wall, they are streamed from the wall sender to the wall receiver, and now the wall receiver is able to send feedback to the master, informing, okay, I've reached this, I have, I've received this. So with this concept, when we perform a commit here, we can tell the primary to wait until one of the standby has received that information. So we assure them when the applications get control back from the server, the information is written in this and that database. Okay? So if this one crashes, The information is here. And hot standby is the ability, as I told you before, to read from this. So yeah, I hope I'll see you tomorrow at 2:30 for a 4-hour training session with myself, Carlo, Marco, and Harald. So thank you. If you have questions. That's it. Thank you.
Any question? Okay.
I'm unlikely to be there, so I just wanted, you talked about better partitioning on the slide. What did change in?
Yeah, basically, I mean, there were some issues with some aggregate functions. Hanno, correct me if I'm wrong. Before, actually, if you want to perform a min or max operation on the partition, basically you had to scan all the partitions to retrieve the data. Now it's more intelligent, and it can actually understand if it's a partitioning key to actually basically order and understand which partition is enough for the planner to get that information for you. So no, we are actually looking for sponsors. As second quadrant, we have a project for that, and if you're interested, if your company is interested, maybe you can come and talk to us, because we are trying to find sponsorship for declarative partitioning. That would allow you to perform like a create table, blah blah blah, partition by, and you select the either range or list partitioning method. And that also would allow you to transparently query the partition tables, and it would be a very cool feature to be seen in Postgres. So, but we're getting there. I mean, it's one of the next, I think, be seen in Postgres.
Just
you have the link here between those two servers, two hosts. What if that link is broken? I mean, there is some network miscommunication.
Okay, if there's a failure here, yeah, of course. I mean, if it's synchronous, you actually have problems, because you're telling, I mean, it's something that is configured in the master. So the master assumes that every transaction, actually you can decide this at transaction level, and we'll see that tomorrow, because you can decide this transaction I want it to be synchronous, or this one I don't want it to be synchronous.
So basically,
but if it's synchronous, it's something that actually blocks transaction. So until this link is put back, you cannot, and then you have timeouts and things like that you can control, but that's something that's critical for your transaction.
So if one host goes down, both hosts are not usable, right?
Yeah.
Synchronous. I only want my commit to succeed.
I have a reason to ask, because you may have heard about this Amazon downtime a few months ago, and if we have two servers, two hosts on different in different zones, we should be using asynchronous.
Yeah, I mean, this is just one slide I picked, It's the synchronous replication, and that's what's new in Postgres 9.1. But tomorrow we will see, everything from cold standby, warm standby, hot standby, streaming asynchronous replication, and streaming replication, synchronous or asynchronous. So this is just for the sake of teasing. So yeah.
Okay, so thank you.
Thank you.